G'day there, welcome back to the Raeside. Today I'm going to be going through season 1 to 2 of The Mandalorian and ranking each of the episodes from 1 to 10 to see what is my top rated and my least rated Mandalorian episodes. So let's get into it. We've got 10 all the way out of 4. To be honest, I doubt any of these episodes I will rank a 4, but those are just the options I've given. But we're just going to go chronologically. So let's get into it. So, of course, the very first episode, The Mandalorian, Chapter 1 of Season 1. This was a banger. I remember the first time I watched this, I think I just had no idea what to expect with this show. But, I was pretty happy with the episode. It was not like the most amazing piece of cinema. But I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Episode 2, The Child. This was a great episode, and of course I loved IG-11. I loved Quill. I loved obviously we got the Grogu reveal in this episode. I'm gonna give it a solid 9. I think I'm gonna allow myself, once I've ranked them all, I think I might change some things or see if I want to change some things. Season 1, episode 3, The Sin. Man, I gotta make sure I remember all these episodes. The Sin, yeah, that's the client. That was a great character. I love how that, Werner Herzog's character, the client, never got a name. That's 10 out of 10. But I enjoy this episode, I think, a bit. I can't give it, definitely not a 10 out of 10, but in enjoyment level, I really enjoyed this episode and seeing all the other Mandalorians. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10, to be honest. It's already scoring pretty high. Maybe I'm way too optimistic, but it's a great show. It's well made. The Sanctuary, of course, on that planet, which I do not remember the name of, with Cara Dune, with the lady and the girl that is kind of a romantic interest for Mando. But this episode was good. This episode was a cool episode. Of course, with the AT-AT and the kind of. They weren't trend. Were they Nyctos? I think they were Nyctos. Coming in, and that Mando and Cara having to train the town and train the village people. That was a cool episode. It felt weirdly placed. As much as I enjoyed watching this episode, it felt a little weirdly placed in terms of the whole season. Not as enjoyable for me personally. I'm going to give that one a 7. Still good. But I've seen a lot better episodes. The Gunslinger. The old mate that's in this episode is already giving this 4 out of 10 vibes. But I like that we go back to Tatooine. I think this might be the first time we meet Pelimoto, and the boots, which we find out to be Boba's boots. I like that hint. I like how that's where it went, and we meet Fennec Shand, super cool. But that character that Mando meets brings this episode down a little bit for me, but I love Fennec in this. This is a hard one. Jeez, I'm gonna give this Gunslinger honestly. I'm gonna put it at 6, but I might change it later. The Prisoner. I liked meeting this whole gang. I liked Bill Burr's character, and I liked how he came up later on. But this one isn't super strong for me. I really don't have any feelings. I'm going to put that at a 6 as well. Cool episode. Love how Matt Lanter is in it. But not super strong feelings. I'm oh yeah, that episode. I don't remember the last time I rewatched that episode. The Reckoning. This was a cool lead up. Very good lead up episode to the finale. I think it was a solid lead up episode. I'm going to give this a solid 8. Moff Gideon he's just a bloody good character. A bloody good villain. And then season 1, episode 8, Redemption. Great finale to the season. I think it was just such a great, for 7 weeks, everyone's been on this experience of meeting this new character, understanding the Mandalorian, and understanding live action Star Wars. And then I think this was a finale that really did justice of how cool this show was, and the fights with all the stormtroopers coming in, Moff Gideon coming in, and you have something I want, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give the finale a solid 9 as well. So that was season 1. That's all season 1. So in no 10 out of 10s for me. Second season, The Marshal. I am very, very confidently going to put this up a 10 out of 10. I cannot fault this episode. I cannot fault this as I think this is probably the best opener to a season of a show ever for Star Wars, at least. But the storyline, the characters, the action, the music, it's all fantastic. So this one is, I'm so confident. Like that's a solid 10 out of 10 for me. When the second episode came out, The Passenger with the frog lady, as we lovingly call her. I don't think she has a name. Like, I think we just call her Frog Lady. Everyone was like, the intensity of episode 1 of season 2, like, it did drop, like, the action and intensity dropped down, but everyone was, like, super critical of that. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all. Interesting story, like the Frog Lady thing. I found it great, like, character development with Mando and Grogu here. But, not a massive amount happened. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10, too. I really love Frog Lady. I think she was super nice. Season 2, episode 3, The Heiress, of course. The wonderful Bo-Katan's live action appearance with Katie Sackhoff. Love Katie Sackhoff and love this episode. This had cool action, cool Empire stuff. Loved that. Was it a Quarren? The other one. The Mon Calamari guy in the sweater. Fantastic. This episode, I really did love the action. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, actually. Episode 4, The Siege. This is a great episode. I think this, again, really amping up with the action for season 2. Cool premise, and I think we got a lot of the kind of the overarching kind of storyline of what's like the Mandoverse is going to be doing. And I like that we got Dr. Pershing, of course, popping up in this episode, and that little bit of hint of why they wanted Grogu, what was there, all that kind of stuff. So The Siege, I'm like, it's not the best of by far of any of these episodes. I'm gonna give it a happy 8. Good episode, but like it needed a bit more of a wow factor to kind of push it up there. Episode 5, The Jedi. Big Ahsoka Tano fan, so this is really hard because as a character reveal, it was a 10 out of 10 character arrival in a show, in my opinion. The actual content of what happened, fantastic stuff in the woods with her Al Morai. I loved that she was there. I loved her connection with Grogu. And she was communing with Grogu, and we got to find Grogu's name in this episode. This was such a cool episode in those facts. I think the Force kind of element of this episode I really enjoyed. The kind of the issues with the townspeople was kind of just not as strong. It didn't really carry enough kind of weight for me, so it brings it down just a little bit to a 9 out of 10 still. Still 9 out of 10, but not the 10 out of 10 that the Marshal was, surprisingly. I'm surprising myself with that one, actually. Episode 6, The Tragedy. This is a cool episode. This is a really, really cool episode. Of course, on that kind of outdoorsy, rocky terrain. Boba Fett and Fennec come in acting like absolute badasses. They were so cool again, 10 out of 10 arrival for characters. Boba was awesome in this, and so was Fennec. They were both just phenomenal. Great bit of dialogue between them and Mando. Razor Crest blowing up was that's a 1 out of 10. That was random, and I still don't understand why they did that. But I really like this episode. I'm kind of considering it a 9, but was it as good? This episode has to me a better storyline than the Jedi or the Heiress. So I am gonna put this at 9, actually. Season 2, episode 7, The Believer. Of course, Bilbo coming back for this. Really, really cool Empire lore. Lovely little bit of dialogue about the state of the galaxy post Empire, post Endor, essentially, and really, cool bit of action again. On those kind of transports running along and fighting the Empire and the pirates as well. This was a cool episode. Everyone went really mental over this episode. I enjoyed it, but I didn't go as crazy as I know a lot of fans did for this episode. So The Believer, I'm probably gonna have at an 8 out of 10. It's up there because of the Empire lore in this was amazing, and face reveal, And then we're gonna go in with season 2, episode 8, The Rescue, which is the final episode, the finale episode of season 2, which was, again, a phenomenal piece of Star Wars. I think, aside from one of the most amazing Star Wars characters returning to live action, this was a cool episode. You know, the light cruiser we were on, seeing TIE fighters, seeing Boba, fly his ship, and seeing like the team up of like Bo-Katan, Koska Reeves, Cara Dune, who else was it? Fennec, and like, that kind of girl squad team up was really, really awesome. And like, I love to see it, and that was so cool. On top of that, the duel Mando had with Moff Gideon was just fantastic, and the dialogue they shared, and then, the intensity, how we're going to get out of the situation, and of course, seeing the X-Wing and going, who is that, and could it be? And then seeing the ignition of the lightsaber was just such a massive turning point for, me as a Star Wars fan. I think for a lot of Star Wars fans, it was just such, like, life will never be the same after that green lightsaber ignited. It was incredible. So this episode, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. I can't really fault any of it. I can't really see, anything really lacking in this episode. It was such a great episode for Star Wars fans, and to just revel in, and rewatching it, I still get all the chills. And even with the ending, like, when Mando takes off his helmet for Grogu and they share that connection, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, such an incredible moment. So definitely a 10 out of 10. Again, just can't fault it. I'm pretty happy with these. The lowest being 6 out of 10 with Gunslinger and The Prisoner. And I agree with myself. They didn't actually drive the story a lot for me either. So they're staying down there 6 out of 10 as my lowest scored episodes. I'm happy with my 10 out of 10s, The Rescue and The Marshal. I think both of those episodes are just two pieces of Star Wars media that I cannot fault. I'm surprised by how many 9 out of 10s I had, actually. But I feel like the rest I'm very happy with as well. Now, make sure you do let me know down below, what was your 10 out of 10s, actually? It might be long to list all of yours from 1 to 16, but let me know what are your 10 out of 10 episodes, and maybe what are your 6 out of 10s, or your lowest ranked episodes as well. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching along today, and make sure if you want more Star Wars exclusives, you consider becoming a member here at the Raeside and join the Race Squad. We have so much fun back there. We have exclusive live streams, exclusive videos. We have so much chatter behind the scenes, and if you want to be a part of that, make sure you click that join button down below. But also remember to subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and always choose the Raeside.